I'm Lena Cho, 32, and for most of my life I've worn the label my parents never bothered to hide. The one who didn't quite turn out right. Not because I failed, because I didn't follow the glossy route they laid out like rails. My brother Grant is 35 and built to spec. Business degree from UT Austin, MBA from Rice, a polished job at a Fortune 500 in Dallas. Country club dues, the perfect driveway. I studied urban planning and took a city job in Austin. Modest pay, small apartment, a 10-year-old Civic that rattles when the AC kicks on. At family dinners, the air always tilted toward Grant, his bonuses, his investments, his latest island vacation. When anyone asked about me, my mother would sigh, "Lena works for the city, it's steady work." The word steady always landed like a lid. My father rarely asked anything. When I mentioned zoning hearings or affordable housing, he'd do that slow, disappointed blink, like I'd confessed to majoring in magic tricks. Except one person never made me feel disposable. My grandfather, Henry Cho, Grandpa Hank, owned nothing flashy and everything solid. He came from Taiwan in the late 60s, worked construction, saved, bought a duplex in Houston, then another, then more across Texas. While Grant chased titles, I spent Sundays at Grandpa's ranch house outside Austin, sleeves rolled up beside him, fixing leaks, repainting trim, learning why quiet assets outlast loud trophies. "Real wealth," he'd say, handing me a wrench, "is what keeps working when you're asleep." In September 2019, he called me to his study, just me. The room smelled of paper and old cedar. His hands shook as he slid a folder across the desk, and my stomach tightened before I even opened it. Inside were 9 quitclaim deeds. Houston duplexes, an Austin fourplex, San Antonio houses, each with a blank line waiting for my name. "I'm transferring them to you," Grandpa said, like he was offering tea. My laugh came out brittle. "Grandpa, Grant is the oldest. Mom and Dad will—" "Grant has never changed a light bulb in any of them," he cut in. "Your parents want stock statements. They don't want tenants. You understand what I built." Patricia Morrison, his attorney, arrived with her stamp and notary log. Grandpa laid it out. A will could be fought for years. Deeds recorded while he was alive would stand. My mouth went dry as I signed. The pen felt heavier than any wrench. A week later, we filed everything. October's rent deposits began landing in my account, steady. I didn't change a thing on the outside. Same apartment, same Civic, same city job. I pushed the money into reserves, mortgage paydowns, and repairs, and I spent weekends doing what Grandpa trained me for: roofs, plumbing, calls. At Thanksgiving 2019, Grant announced he should optimize the portfolio and asked my parents to get him power of attorney. My father beamed. Grandpa smiled and said, "I'll think about it," while his eyes met mine. Quick spark. The years rolled forward on schedules and compounding. Tenants stayed, buildings held. My family kept praising Grant's real success and patting my shoulder for being steady. On March 3rd, 2025, Grandpa died in his sleep. 2 weeks later, my mother called, voice tight. "Patricia wants the family in her office, Tuesday at 2. I stared at the calendar invite and felt the floor tilt, like the moment before a locked door finally opens. Patricia's conference room was cool enough to raise goose flesh. My parents sat stiff, grief pressed into manners. Grant arrived in a knife-sharp suit, already talking about tax efficiency. Patricia read the will, then reached the line I'd carried like a live wire. Grandpa had transferred the 9 properties to me in 2019 by recorded deeds, not subject to probate. Grant's pen froze. My mother turned. "Lena, I've owned them since September 2019, I said. "I've paid the taxes, fixed the roofs, taken the calls." Grant stood, color climbing his neck. "This can't be right." Patricia slid copies across. Stamps, file numbers, my name. Then she added calmly, "There's more." A forensic accountant had traced diverted rent. Small transfers routed to an account Grant controlled. The room thinned to ringing silence. Grant's shoulders folded. "It was temporary," he whispered. I pictured Mrs. Patterson in Houston handing over rent in good faith. "You stole from tenants," I said. And that landed harder than brother. Patricia asked what I wanted. An apology, I said. And the money back in 30 days, with interest. After that, you stay away from my properties. Grant nodded, eyes wet, and agreed. The repayment contract was signed. Outside, my parents hovered like strangers with my face. My father swallowed. We misjudged you. Yes, I said. If you want a relationship, it starts with respect. That night, alone in my Civic, I opened Grandpa's last letter. The ink was steady. Build what lasts. Don't let them make you small. I folded it and drove home, not triumphant, just finally seen. On my own terms, alone.